Welcome in, everyone. I hope you are doing well, and wherever you might be watching this from, you are having a great day. We have another development that we're going to talk about when it comes to dealing with the cartels south of the border, pushing their garbage into the United States of America and harming our country, and it looks like, quite frankly, the gloves might be coming off. Before we get into all of that, please, as always, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps us grow, helps us share the stories of American heroes, and comment below how you want to see President Trump deal with the cartels, what you think we should do, should the military get involved, what military units. If you have a thought at all about how we're going to deal and we're going to stop these people, I want to hear it in the comments. Today's topic, which I am very excited to get into, is we've had a lot of back and forth about how are we going to deal with the cartels. Is the military going to go in? Are we just going to apply sanctions to the Mexican government? Are we going to do anything to get leverage against the Mexican government to do something? And the big development was President Trump, on his first day in office, signed multiple executive orders, two big ones. One, essentially trying to close down the border, something that we hadn't done for years. And then two, the real big one is when he declared the drug cartels, FTOs, foreign terrorist organizations. What that allowed him to do was essentially open the toolbox, have more options available to him, and deal with these scumbags, let's just call them what they are, in ways that maybe we couldn't before because they weren't deemed terrorist organizations. So Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has been adamant that we will do whatever it takes to stop the poison that is coming up from south of the border, whether that is militarily or otherwise. But then he went on Fox News and gave an interview, and he had 7 words, just 7 words that I think send a clear message to anyone who might be a cartel member, a cartel leader, who thinks that they're going to come in here and do something bad or thinks that they're just going to get away with it like they have for years. I'm not going to spoil it for you. It's too good to do that. Let's roll the tape and let's see what Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth had to say when asked directly. He's asked directly whether or not we're going to go in and attack these guys like we might a different FTO. Let's go ahead right now and watch what Pete Hegseth had to say.
You permitted now to go after them in Mexico or wherever they are?
Brian, I don't want to get ahead of the president, and I won't. That's ultimately going to be his decision. But let me be clear, all options will be on the table.
So there you have it. That is coming directly from Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, saying all options will be on the table when it comes to dealing with the cartel. And quite frankly, that is what the standard has to be. That's why Trump signed that executive order. It was a maneuver to make sure any tool we have in our arsenal can be used effectively to fight these cartels. And you can't, in any war, you can't put handcuffs on yourself. You can't make decisions that are going to hinder your ability to conduct the mission as you see fit. If you do, then essentially you're just setting yourself up to lose. You're also telegraphing to the enemy what you're not willing to do. And when you telegraph to the enemy what you're not willing to do, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to learn, they're going to adapt, and then they're going to exploit those weaknesses. So when Hegseth and the president come out and say all options are on the table, all options will be considered, we're getting ready to go gloves off if necessary against the cartels, that right there is telling you that these guys are gearing up to do whatever might have to be done. Now, I know we've debated endlessly multiple times. Well, does that mean Delta Force is going to be used? Does that mean SEAL Team 6 is going to be used? Are we going to be flying bombers and busting open cartel leaders' villas and things of that nature? Are we going to be sending in the Rangers? Are we going to be sending in the Marines? Are we going to take entire swaths of land and push these people out and try to hold it? Right now, the honest answer to all of those questions and more is that we frankly do not know. We just simply do not know what the Trump administration is going to do. I have discussed at length what I think is going to happen, in terms of how it's going to be handled. I do think, and I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong. Let me know in the comments how you think it'll be handled. And if I'm wrong, this is on video, filming it February 2nd, 2025. I do think you will see some level of direct action, kinetic action against cartel leaders. I don't know if that means you're going to see a ton of fighting, a ton of combat. I do believe that you will see, whether it's snatch and grabs to put these guys on trial, whether it's a coordinated hit, if you will, to kill one of these dudes. I don't know. You could also see drones be used to do all this. You could see all of that and much more. Do I think we're going to see large-scale operations? We've talked a ton about Delta Force. Do I think we're going to see Delta Force squadrons get whipped up into a frenzy and go fight? Again, we've talked about this at length. We've discussed it many, 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 many times. Brent Tucker at the Anti-Hero Podcast has also discussed it. Other people have. And you know what? In fact, for anyone who thinks on a direct action hit that Delta Force is not going to win, we're not talking grand global scale. We're talking individual hits. Let's see what Brent Tucker, a former Delta Force guy, Anti-Hero Podcast co-host, love those guys over there. They just hit 100,000 subscribers. Let's run his comments back real quick for anyone who thinks that's going to happen.
They are the equivalent of people in man jams and flip-flops in Mexico. And if you think they're in the shoot house every day like a Tier 1 element, if you think they're on the flat range every day like a Tier 1 element, if you think they have the technology and the assets of a Tier 1 element has, you're sorely mistaken. We would absolutely wipe the floor with them. Will it be easy? Will there be some losses? Of course. It's a dangerous game. Are they any match for us? No.
What do you
Write
think?
that down.
So I have to admit, I do love that clip, which is why I included it in a previous video. It's in this one, too, because that is coming directly from a Tier 1 operator. And when we tie all this together, we got to look at all the information. Again, and I can't stress this enough, we do not know for sure what the Trump administration is planning to do. And anyone who goes out there and says, well, this is how it's going to be handled, or this is how it's not going to be handled, or this is what we absolutely have to do, I'm telling you, we don't know yet. But when Pete Hegseth goes out there and says all options are on the table, all options are going to be considered, or any variation of that, when you hear there's chatter about direct action, I mean, they've already sent troops to the border. They've already made it clear that they're not playing games. We've already seen cartels attack people inside America, those hikers who were shot at, and I believe one was hit. So this is about sending a message, and it's about keeping all options available. Again, let's not telegraph to the enemy what we might or might not do. You can't do it. It's a very foolish, stupid thing to do. And fortunately, again, we have a new president. We're now in the Trump era. It's early February of his second term, so he's, a couple weeks in. And Pete Hegseth and others are sending the message. When it comes to dealing with these cartels, nothing is going to be ruled out. Nothing will be ruled out. That puts these cartels, hopefully, on their back foot. Makes them nervous. Makes them scared. Makes them reconsider the evil that they want to unleash. And I hope they do. Because if they don't, I can guarantee you this much. The days of tolerating this and the poison they push over our border are over. That's not going to be allowed anymore. So I give credit where credit is due. It is a smart thing to go out and say all options will be on the table. It'd be a very stupid thing to go out and rule anything out one way or the other. That would be dumb. Keeping all options on the table is smart. We've seen Brent's point of view. We've seen other point of views. I don't know exactly what they're going to do. I do think at some point in the next 4 years, you will see it, direct action hits. I don't know if you'll see a mass military scale operation. I don't know if anyone knows that. I know that there's varying viewpoints on how that will go, but I like that Hegseth said he's keeping all options on the table. Let's not tip our cards to the enemy. Let's not let them know what we're thinking, and let's go out there and get the job done. And most importantly, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear in the comments from everyone watching this, if you were in charge, how would you handle the cartels? I love reading the comments. Let's get a good debate going in the comments. And if you made it this far in the video, it means you liked what you saw, liked what you heard. Please make sure to like and subscribe and jump in those comments and let me know how you want to see the situation handled. I'll catch y'all next time.